What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Thursday, January 13th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 5-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Monte Morris from the Denver Nuggets playing the Portland Trail Blazers, who have the 9th worst defense overall, and they give up the 12th most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Monte Morris has averaged 24.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 30 minutes per game with a 19% usage rate. He's projected at 24.4 fantasy points here tonight, and that's 5 times value. He's $4,900 DraftKings salary and the same price on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 215.5 points scored in this game, and Monte Morris has scored 23, 22, and 23 fantasy points in his last 3 games, playing 34, 25, and 31 minutes. But I like this pick because Monte Morris has scored 21, 36, 48, 43, and 25 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Trailblazers. So I love that player versus team history. So I like Monte Morris here versus the Portland Trailblazers. Okay, real quick guys, just remember to like this video, subscribe to this video, and make a comment below, and that will enter you into our $25 weekly PayPal giveaway, and we're going to announce the winner in our Saturday video. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like Will Barton from the Denver Nuggets playing the Portland Trailblazers, who have the 9th worst defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing shooting guards. Will Barton has averaged 30.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. He's projected at 31.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's $5,900 DraftKings salary, same price on FanDuel. We know Vegas thinks there's going to be 215.5 points scored in this game, and Will Barton has scored 26 and 23 fantasy points in the last 2 games, but he played 30 and 33 minutes. He was out last game, but he should be good to go here tonight, and he scored 31 fantasy points in his last game versus the Trailblazers, so I like Will Barton here versus the Portland Trailblazers. Just make sure to check the injury news and be sure he's not going to be limited in this game and then he's going to get 30 plus minutes. Then I like that price tag and I like the matchup. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Anthony Edwards from the Minnesota Timberwolves playing the Memphis Grizzlies, who have a middle of the pack defense overall and they're middle of the pack defending opposing small forwards. Anthony Edwards has averaged 39.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 35 minutes per game with a 28% usage rate. He's projected at 38.2 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.7 times value. But I think he can score 45 fantasy points or more in this one. He's $8,100 DraftKings salary, 200 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game. 230 points scored in this game, and Anthony Edwards has scored 44, 40, and 49 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 36, 34, and 29 minutes. He's also scored 28, 44, 67, and 40 fantasy points in his last 4 games versus the Grizzlies. So I like Anthony Edwards here versus the Memphis Grizzlies.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. Now, I've already given you two players from the Denver Nuggets. I think this is a dice roll here as a value play, and I'm not too certain about this one, but he has played over 20 minutes in the last two games, and he does have a good track record versus the Portland Trailblazers. So if you want to roll the dice with this value play, take a look at Jeff Green from the Denver Nuggets playing the Portland Trailblazers, who have the 9th worst defense overall, and they give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Jeff Green has averaged 17.1 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 25 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate. He's projected at 15.4 fantasy points here tonight, and he's only 3,500 DraftKings salary, 1,100 more on FanDuel. So this would be a DraftKings play only for me, but he scored 16, 21, and 25 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 21, 22, and 15 minutes. But what makes this pick interesting to me is that Jeff Green has scored 40, 15, 28, 27, and 33 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Trailblazers. So I think this is a high risk, high reward value play. Jeff Green here versus the Portland Trailblazers. Now, a safer value play at the power forward position might be Kessler Edwards at only 3,600 DraftKings salary, same price on FanDuel. He scored 20, 13, and 14 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 28, 15, and 12 minutes. So he's another low salary dice roll. Kessler Edwards here versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, let's take a look at the center position. I like Jonas Valanciunas from the New Orleans Pelicans playing the LA Clippers, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing centers. Jonas Valanciunas has averaged 40.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 24% usage rate. He's projected at 40.7 fantasy points here tonight. I think he can score 45 fantasy points or more in this one. He's 8,600 DraftKings salary, 900 less on FanDuel, so I love that FanDuel price. And he scored 35, 47, and 31 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 28, 33, and 31 minutes. And I like this pick because Jonas Valanciunas has scored 71, 51, and 44 fantasy points and 40 fantasy points in his last 4 games versus the Clippers. So I like Jonas Valanciunas here versus the LA Clippers.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.